Hello and welcome to ACT Prep. I'm your English teacher, Miss Abear. Are y'all done with justifying responses already? I know you are. I know that you are tired of trying to figure out why this is the best answer, and this is the last one, so you're in luck. We are looking at passage 5 that you worked on independently. And because I know you're tired, we're going to work through this just as fast or maybe even faster than we did passage 4 so that we can get into the skills of each of the answer choices and why the skills that you need in order to find the most success. So I will tell you that justifying your responses does a couple of things. It helps you as you take your next test. You will be able to kind of look at those responses and make some decisions more quickly. So the more that you have experience checking and justifying your responses, the more success you will find on the ACT, because it will happen more naturally. You will begin to justify your answers as you go through and answer them instead of waiting until the very end. For question 61, the best answer is D. The word illicit is precise and appropriately expresses the idea that jellyfish had not attracted significant attention from scientists. For 62, the best answer is F, because the name Christian Somer is an essential element and should not be set off with commas. For 63, the best answer is B. It correctly uses a colon to illustrate or explain what comes before the colon. By using a colon after the word astonishing, the writer introduces a phrase specifying what Christian Somer observed. All right, for 64, the best answer is G, because this option clearly indicates what would be lost if the sentence were deleted. The sentence expresses in plain language that the jellyfish were essentially growing younger, and that's an idea that clarifies the information presented in the paragraph. All right, let's look at the next set of questions. For 65, the best answer choice is D. It is the only option that provides a logical introduction to the paragraph's focus on the jellyfish's life stages. For 66, the best answer is H, because it appropriately uses a comma to set off the non-restrictive participle phrase that starts with the word reaching. I told you that we're going to talk about restrictive and non-restrictive phrases in a skills lesson, and we will get to that. The next set of questions is 67 and 68. For 67, the best answer is B. It uses a comma to set off the non-restrictive element introduced by the subordinating conjunction if. This non-restrictive clause is closed by a matching comma after the word age. For 68, the best answer is J. It provides the clearest and most concise wording. It also follows the style and tone of the essay. All right, let's move on to 69. The best answer is C, because it has incorrect sentence structure. The sentence lacks a main verb, which creates a sentence fragment. This makes C the only alternative that is not acceptable. Remember, I talked about you've got to slow down on these questions that use the word not. Luckily, ACT does put any time that they're going to ask you a question that is going to say all of these are correct except one, choose the one that is not acceptable. Not will always be in all caps. You will see that. All caps will always be in those words or in those question stems. All right, let's look at 70. The best answer is G, because at this point in the essay, they're considering whether jellyfish can accurately be described as immortal. Therefore, the details about the lifespan of the jellyfish's cells and genes are the most relevant option. 71, the best answer is C, because the word of is the correct idiomatic preposition needed to make the sentence understandable. All right, let's move on to question 72. I told you we're going to go fast. I'm going to talk fast and you're going to think fast, all right? 72, the best answer is F. It has the correct pronoun antecedent agreement and uses the correct possessive form of the word it. The verb achieves indicates that the jellyfish is being referred to in the singular. Therefore, the singular pronoun its is correct. We're going to talk about those other phrases later on in a skills lesson, because the word it or its is a commonly confused word. And so this is going to test actually a couple of skills for 72. So let's look at 73. The best answer choice is C, because it is the only option that has correct sentence structure. It creates a complete sentence with a subject and a main verb. For 74, the best answer is J, because the answer, because it clearly explains why the sentence should not be added. The information about the lethal encounters is not relevant to the paragraph's description of ongoing research into the jellyfish's cellular transformation. All right, last one, number 75. The best answer choice is A, because it provides the most effective conclusion to the essay while providing specific information about the benefits of TD research, indicating that research into the jellyfish may inform us about aging and disease. All right, I talked fast. Did you listen fast? I really hope that you did. We have made some great progress on justifying these responses, and I know at this point, after we've done an entire an entire test, 5 essays, we have justified responses. So I know that at this point, you're feeling a little befuddled, right? So next time that we meet, we're going to look at specific skills. We're still going to be working within this test. I think it's important for you to understand not just why the best answer choice is not the best answer choice, why it is and why it isn't. That's important to know, but it's important to also understand the skill that goes with each of those item choices. So we're going to look at a skill, and I'm going to give you the item numbers that go along with that skill. And remember, at the beginning of our time together for ACT Prep for English, I talked about those different reporting categories. And so we're going to talk about those when we come back next time, and we're going to talk about what those look like and what they mean and how you can dig deeper to get the absolute best score possible on the English portion of the ACT. Until next time, happy learning.